Welcome back, True Seeker. The new predictive programming find in regards to the Charlie Kirk assassination is with a music video that his wife appeared in, a music video that came out just days after Turning Point USA was established. This is all the way back in 2012. And it's by the country group Emerson Drive. The song is She's My Kinda Crazy. She makes up about 50% of the music video. And there's a shot at 2 minutes and 33 seconds in of her zip lining in Las Vegas. You see the Las Vegas skyline behind. And you can see the backdrop of what she is zip lining across. 910. Literally, they got her right in front of the 910 in this shot. Of course, September 10th is the day of the Charlie Kirkland shooting. And don't forget, it's also the date that we circled way back in January for a story just like that because of the numerology. A lot of people frown on numerology. You should learn it because all of the rituals done in this country have everything to do with numbers. Again, you get into the world of entertainment. Freemasonry is large and in charge. What do the Masons etch on the temple? All is number. And I've been studying this for over 12 years. A lot of people now doing similar work to yours truly. We figured out what these numbers mean to these people and why September 10th was such a right date for a shooting and an execution. Now, if you're new here, Freemasonry is based in Kabbalah, and within Kabbalah, there's a practice of coding numbers into words. Again, I learned about this from the 1926 book, The Secret Teachings of All Ages. I learned about this in August of 2013, and I've been teaching about it ever since because as soon as I found it, I realized how important it was. Literally, I could see through the news like I was Roddy Piper and They Live pretty much from the day I got the knowledge. And of course, you can see through the news, you can see through the rig sports, you can see through the rig markets, you can see through the rig crypto, you can see through all of it, and you can get ahead of the curve as we've been demonstrating endlessly now for over 12 years straight as well. The four base ciphers of the English language are the alphabetic order. A is 1 up to Z is 26. The reverse alphabetic order, Z is 1 back to A is 26, and both orders with numerology applied. Notice how Emerson Drive and Turning Point overlap. Do you see how they have the exact same numbers? They're just reversed. Emerson Drive's 147 when you run the alphabetic order forwards. Turning Point's 147 when you run it in reverse. Keep in mind, that's a special number. The word Freemason equals 147. So does conspiracy. The White House, in Washington, D.C., named after the Freemason George Washington. The White House has 147 windows on it. Don't forget when Trump's ex-wife fell down the stairs and died on the 14th day of the 7th month. And that was exactly 60 weeks into the first ever Jesuit Ignatian year. And the same day Trump said he'd run in the 60th election, not to mention Donald Trump equals 60. So does Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's assassination came 60 weeks and 4 days after what happened to Trump on July 13th. One day prior to the anniversary of his wife's death from falling down the stairs, his ex-wife, who died 45 years after their marriage. But yeah, the 177 is a special one too because the Jesuit order equals 177, so does the phrase New World Order. In fact, the Jesuit order and New World Order both equal 177 and 69. As for the title of the song, She's My Kinda Crazy, it equates to 86. That's a special number for all kinds of reasons, but just to keep it simple, remember the South Park episode of Charlie Kirk came out not long before his death on August 6th, 8-6, and of course 86 means to get rid of. Don't forget the school shooting in Colorado right after the Charlie Kirk shooting at the Evergreen High School. That's where Trey Parker went to high school. He graduated from there in 88. The South Park co-creator Trey Parker went to the Evergreen High School where the shooting happened right after Charlie Kirk's, who put out the 8-6 episode of Charlie Kirk. Again, I've done longer videos on these things if you're new here, and probably is worth taking the time to watch them because there's a lot more important details. The song released 13 days before the music video. The song came out July 9th, 2012. Turning Point USA was created June 5th, 2012, so 34 days before the song came out. Remember, Charlie Kirk died 34 days for his birthday. Length of his song is 3 minutes and 22 seconds. Very special number to the occult. Genesis 3:22 is about the tree of life, which is the physical model for Kabbalah, where this whole thing of letters and numbers comes from. But June 5th can be written 5-6, like Society of Jesus is 56. And when you run it in reverse, Society of Jesus is 79, like how July 9th can be written 7-9. Again, Turning Point USA, very big with the Jesus word. I wouldn't say really the ways of Jesus. I didn't really hear Charlie Kirk say much that was reminiscent of Jesus, but I did hear him say Jesus' name a lot. And again, politicians will do that. Just for the record, the first Turning Point, first Charlie Kirk podcast was July 7th, 2019. From then to his death was 322 weeks and a few days. If you're new here, the label for this song that did this music video with the predictive programming, Open Road, notice it's 88, right? 88, Trump's 88. Again, Charlie Kirk died 88 days after Trump's birthday. Turning Point USA is 88. The Republican Party's 88. Evergreen, Colorado, where the school shooting happened, is 88. And again, Trey Parker graduated from that high school in 88, which was 37 years before 2025. And the name of the South Park episode with Charlie Kirk is Got a Nut, which equals 37. Just like Utah Valley's 37, just like shooting is 37, just like Wednesday's 37. The shooting was on a Wednesday. And, shooting also has the 109, like the date can be written 10/9. It was a date with 44 numerology. Again, Erika Kirk and Charlie Kirk were married 4 years and 4 months before he was executed. 4 years and 4 months. Execution's 44. Erika's 44. Kills 44. Think about it. And here she was in this music video. And keep in mind, 2012 was the year that she won the Trump beauty pageant for Miss Arizona. Trump, the 44th person to be president, who had big beef with number 44 Obama. Remember, the counts off because of Grover Cleveland, who had a split term. And, of course, Erika is born in 88. And from her birthday to the release of that song was 33 weeks and a day. Going with your 33-hour manhunt. Again, we're talking about Freemasonry, Masonry 33, Secrecy 33, Order 33, Federal 33, Police 33, etc., etc. The day of the arrest, September 11th, again, something that the real 9/11 event came together 33 years before it happened in 1968 when 911 was made the National Emergency Dialing Code and World Trade Center construction began, and George W. Bush graduated from Yale and Skull and Bones as a bonesman, 33. And Boeing debuted their jumbo jetliners and all that. But again, September 11th, the day of the arrest, was 33 days before Charlie Kirk's October 14th birthday anniversary. And this was the post that she left. Erika Kirk, when her social media was Miss Arizona USA 2012, she said in regards to this music video, "What a blast Tyler and I had shooting this video." Again, Tyler Robinson, supposedly the shooter. The Snake Eyes predictive programming is with the boxer Tyler the Executioner as Charles Kirkland gets shot in September during the storm Jezebel. We are so grateful to have been a part of this incredible video. She had so much fun shooting with Tyler. I mean, and I'm guessing she's not responsible really for that social media post. People have handlers in this world. I remember years ago, MTV did a thing on Justin Bieber and how organized his life is and how every day there's a book of things that he's meant to do. And he doesn't do a lot of them, but just things that will go up on his social media. It's all planned out around him. Again, people on the world stage have managers and planners and event coordinators. People keeping them on script. So... And, of course, you watch the video I put up within 30 minutes of the Charlie Kirk shooting news. All these numbers up on the screen for Turning Point we talked about. And, of course, the video was taken down for hate speech, even though there was no hate speech. But, in light of the work I did on Snake Eyes, I was missing a key detail. I knew there was something up with Hurricane Jezebel being a key part of the plot and the woman in red at the beginning of the film, if you've seen it. Being part of the assassination, because, of course, Jezebel is associated with the color red. I didn't realize that there was a website, Jezebel, and I didn't realize that they cast a spell, a hex. The website Jezebel on September 8th, 2 days before the supposed shooting, they reported that Etsy witches had been given money to cast a hex on Charlie Kirk. This was reported September 8th, the Virgin Mary's birthday. Remember, the Catholic Church is believed by Protestants to be the whore of Babylon, which has a lot of connections to Jezebel. They're not the same thing, but they are related. Anyhow, again, in this movie Snake Eyes, big boxing match, just like the Charlie Kirk shooting happened a few days before Crawford versus Canelo, one of the biggest boxing matches in decades, and that was a Hispanic man versus a black man, whereas in Snake Eyes, it's a black man versus a Hispanic man with Mexican shorts on. But yeah, just so many plot elements in this story just come through very clearly. If you've not watched the beginning of Snake Eyes, I'd encourage you to take the first 5 minutes of the movie, or take the time to watch the first 5 minutes. Again, the Charles Kirkland gets shot in the neck next to a man who's supposed to be Donald Trump, an Atlantic City casino owner hosting fights. Literally in the IMDb, it says that character is modeled after Donald Trump, and it's played by John Earn, who died not long after Trump took office the first time in 2017. Again, I went into detail about that. But yeah, all of this is taking place during Hurricane Jezebel. And notice this. This website, Jezebel, had the story about how they paid Etsy witches to hex Charlie Kirk. Notice that Etsy witches equals 60, like Donald Trump, like Charlie Kirk. And remember when they just had the memorial for Charlie Kirk, it was 60 days before Erika Kirk's November 20th birthday. And, Megyn Kelly's the one who made this Jezebel story very popular. She got millions of views covering this. Notice how her background's all red, like Jezebel. And I've always called Megyn Kelly MK Ultra. But, yeah. And just for the record, Megyn Kelly got real, emotional about the Etsy witches. And just notice how perfect it all is. She's been on the TV for years, putting out the spells, keeping people in the mental coma, believing the lies. She's definitely part of the problem. And the point I'm making is it's no accident that she's the one who's viral for spreading this story. Notice also that Megyn Kelly's 54 years old right now. Remember, this is the number of the Jesuits who run the show, the military order of the Catholic Church. Charlie Kirk's motto, prove me wrong, equals 54. The Virgin Mary's birthday, the day the Jezebel website put out the story, that was the 251st day of the year, the 54th prime. Keep in mind, Jesuit order equals 54 like Bavaria. Again, the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt founded the Illuminati in Bavaria, and he died in history on November 18th, which is Megyn Kelly's birthday, the 322nd day of the year, speaking of 322. And yeah, if you haven't seen the film, this is the redhead with the red dress at the beginning of the film, who's a big part of the assassination plot. She's also the one who got the fighter, Tyler the Executioner, to take the fall. And notice her birthday just happens to be the day before Halloween. And notice she was born in 60. And she just happens to be 64 right now, like Charles James Kirk equals 64. And he died on a date with 64 and 44 numerology. And again, kill equals 64 and 44 in this code. It's what makes the kill date the kill date. It's the one day a month that has date numerology as 64 and 44. But yeah, Charles James Kirk is also 163, like the actress's name, Jane Heitmeyer. And again, Jezebel, associated with the color red. Jezebel also equates to 124, like the American Comeback Tour. Charlie Kirk killed at the first event of the American Comeback Tour. Jezebel also 34, like murder, like Mormon, like he died 34 days before his birthday. Again, like how this song came out on July 9th, 34 days after Turning Point was created on June 5th. The end of June would be 25 days plus 9 more into July, so 34 days again. And remember, murder equals 34, so does Mormon, so does Jesus, so does cross, so does church. Kirk literally means church. Charlie means freeman, a lot like Freemason. He had the freedom shirt on. And speaking of free, look at what street she's in front of. Fremont, freedom, free man. Again, a little bit too perfect. The creator of Jezebel is Anna Holmes, but I could not find her birthday or much about her. She went to NYU. But yeah, again, just what else is out there, I wonder? I mean, how much more can be out there? We had it all figured out without any of this. I mean, it was all obvious how it all traced back. 88 days after Trump's birthday told us the whole story. Um, but yeah, if you missed this video, you might want to get caught up because it does go to show how characters on the world stage are chosen, and again, how predictive programming is put out. Snake Eyes, and this happens in the year of the snake. And not only did it happen in the year of the snake, it happened on the 225th day of the year of the snake. And year of the snake equals 225. All right. And by the way, I found a channel that I think is doing some good work on this. I don't agree with a lot of what he says, and he's another religious guy, but I don't have to agree with everybody on everything. He is showing how this is no doubt the work of the Holy Roman Empire. He brings up how maybe the Jesuits have something to do with it. He obviously doesn't know enough. It has everything to do with the Jesuits. The Jesuits run this nation, so. But out of all the other people I've seen putting out content, the fact that this guy's on how this is clearly the work of the Holy Roman Empire, he's got it. And who pointed that out? Day one. Again, look at Turning Point USA, you guys, and look at Holy Roman Empire. I mean, just take a look. The Holy Roman Empire is alive and well in the United States of America, and, you know, it works from within the Catholic Church. All of the same numbers in Turning Point USA as Holy Roman Empire. And you see that big 74? Again, it's amazing how many Jesus people just won't give up their indoctrination. Jesus 74, like cross, like Messiah, like gospel, like parables. And don't forget, Jesus Christ is also 74. And again, so is Masonic, and so is George Washington. And there's an open tomb for George Washington, like Jesus in the nation's capital. And there's also a mural of George Washington painted in the clouds like he's Jesus. Again, all of these things are related. Religion is used to get people to believe nonsense from a young age, and you see how most people just go through life believing all the nonsense fed to them day after day by the authorities. It's that simple. It's that simple. And these religious folks, they never learn. I mean, how many of them were just ready for the rapture this last week, and did it change any of their minds, or are they just now count down to the next date? Who's got the next date? I need to believe. No, it's pathetic. It's pathetic. And again, they're using religion yet again to bait people and persuade them with emotion. And again, that was whole Charlie Kirk's whole movement. You know, go away from education, invest your time and energy into religion and politics. Two things that are literally, I would say, the most evil things in this world, and things that get people to do crazy things. And, you know, I mean, just take a look at the world, you guys. Religion and politics. It's what's behind all the needless wars, needless killing, needless division. And yeah, I mean, this person who's been an actor on the world stage, I mean, she's just made millions. And how many poor people just send in a whole bunch of money because they got caught up in this obvious lie, you know? Again. Anyway. That's the latest Truth Seeker. Thanks again to everyone who hits the like and the share. And until next time.